Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Chris is back on the channel, and we shall be discussing Prey, the new Predator universe movie, prequel, sequel, wherever the fuck. So we're going to get into that. Under Disney's guidance, which I think is what we saw. I think that's definitely what we saw in this reimagining of the Predator
you think it was their influence?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, it was their influence. Okay,
absolutely. But what you think of the movie?
Yo, I thought it was super dope, man. I came in with kind of somewhat low expectations, even though I was hoping it to be good. Seeing how it was like more of, I guess I'm assuming it was the first time the Predator came down to Earth. Obviously the '87 classic with Arnold and whatnot. Obviously still can't be beat, but then the Predator movies just went downhill. So much so that they had to mix it up with Alien, you know what I mean? And even though the first Alien versus Predator movie was a fun ride, it just became shit. And then Predators comes out in 2010, and it was great. It was a great film. I don't know if you saw Predators. With Lawrence Fishburne, Adrian Brody.
They got dropped off in the planet. They had to fight each other and that kind of stuff.
It seemed like everything was kind of going away from what the Predator truly was, right? And then Predators came out, but then they reverted back to that bullshit like 4 years ago when we had the Predator. And you're like, you know what I mean? So I came in here kind of somewhat low expectations, and I was blown away. I would say this is honestly, I mean, there's an argument to be made to say that this is probably the best Predator film. I don't know. I'm always when it comes to originals, you can't really touch it. Like even me rewatching the original Predator, even though yes, with the CGI, it's kind of like hokey now and whatnot. I love that whole ridiculous action type film stuff. So I still gotta say Predator was number one, but man, this is a very close to, I would say this is probably an overall better storytelling than any of the Predator films. You know what I mean? With Naru and her entire Comanche tribe, So I love the look of this. The whole scenery is beautiful. I love that they actually, they cast the actual Native Americans and whatnot in that, you know what I mean? I think Amber Midthunter is going to have a career. I think she's been in a couple stuff already, who plays Naru. But overall, I just thought it was great. I don't know they're going to create a sequel. I know they put a little thing in the animation at the end and whatnot. But what I love about that is I'm glad that they didn't even have to do like a post-credit scene, because post-credit scene basically tells you there will be a sequel. This one just kind of shows maybe, you know what I mean? It's like the end of like the original Planet of the Apes, and before like 10 years later they decided to do like a sequel after that. It was like the end, the original Planet of the Apes, where you saw like the apes in modern world, and then just like no, whatever. Like no, that was just it ended like shit. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what you saw with the drawings. So overall, great film. What about you?
Also similar. I came in with low expectations. I was a kid when I watched Predator in the movie with my dad, and I watched part 2 on demand with my dad. So I remember those 2 movies, and like I said, after that, going back and watch the Danny Glover one again, because my friend Carl, he said that Predator 2, the Danny Glover one, was the best sequel, and I couldn't remember the movie, right? And when I watched it, I couldn't even finish it, dude. That was a piece of shit. Like I was like, how could you?
That was like RoboCop. You know what? Dude, that was doing the whole RoboCop thing with the over-the-top violence. Like
I was like, this is RoboCop. This is Lethal Weapon meets
Yeah.
RoboCop, but then
And Lethal Weapon, the dude who played his boss,
was the sergeant.
Was the sergeant.
I was
I'm
like, damn. Mel Gibson was busy. He's like, I'm too good for this.
He must
so
have been.
I'm doing Braveheart.
Yeah. Joe Pesci was busy doing Casino, I think, at the time or something.
He was like, I'm better than this. But anyway, I say to you. Now that you remind me, I will say the Predators. When they brought the different people like to the planet, was the best.
Badasses, yep.
Was badass, right? And like even when they introduced the super alpha predator or whatever the fuck, I was like I thought that was cool. To this movie, I say this is a Disney-fied movie, and that's not an insult. It's not an insult, but that's why the storytelling was better, because what they did is they came in and was like, this is going to be a woman Native American focused coming of age story that happens to have a predator in it, because you could completely take out said predator, insert a big bear or some shit, and the story is still the same. She wants to be a warrior, but she's a woman. They won't let her be a warrior. She goes out there with her brother who believes in her. Her brother is killed by said big beast. She kills big beast and comes back a hero to her people.
Are you saying that this movie is the movie Brave? Is the Disney film Brave? Is that what you're saying this is? Brave? Also,
I did not see that, but my friend Carlton also didn't see that shit either. It's not but my friend Carlton said the exact same thing. He said he said that's Brave. I was like, oh really?
You didn't see Brave? Oh yeah. Brave. Yeah, she was a tomboy. Yeah, her mom was like, do some girl stuff, and she's like, so, and then her little Irish accent, like, I don't want to do that, mommy. Blah 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 blah, and then
I submit this is so I saw this. I felt this was racist, but I mean, somebody put a meme of Pocahontas meets Predator, and I'm like, that's racist as fuck.
What?
That's racist as fuck.
On,
but
that you know what that's you know what that's like. See, that's that ignorant shit, because that's like having a show of Luke Cage and being like, oh, it is the Hulk meets Boys in the Hood, because like all you can think of like, oh,
you know what?
A movie with black people.
I got
like,
an idea.
So, you know what I mean? Like, but no, that's fucked up. Because like Pocahontas.
That's
I would never do that.
that's racist as fuck. But no. I didn't see Brave, but be damned, that's what they did. They said Brave live action with the Predator in it. Go. And I'm like, and it works because it's a different audience. You know what I'm saying? Like Predator 1 and the Predator movies were made for us. Like men, really, so like men, probably like 16 to 50 who want to see action and just shooting and killing and shit for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Like I was like, story be damned, because go back to Predator 1, the story don't make no damn sense. But the Predator was cool.
It did. I mean, they went in off of a false pretense to rescue a group of other American Special Forces, and they were led into a trap because you know what I mean. It made sense. The problem is everyone just remembers the action more than just the plot. But you don't blame the plot itself. It was a decent plot, but people just said fuck the plot. I just love Jesse Ventura coming out with
But they never got the intelligence. When I thought I remembered the movie, I thought Carl Weathers. I thought he knew, like part 2, the CIA knew that the Predator was hunting, and they sent a Delta Force team in to get it. It didn't work, so they sent like Arnold Schwarzenegger's team in to get it, and that was not the movie. Like they went to go get the intelligence, which never got discovered. You don't know why they're in Latin America, so the story really didn't make a lot of sense. But they came into it and they fought the Predator. Anyway, my point is, it was more solid than part 2. We can all agree on that. 2 didn't make no damn sense.
Yeah,
and then it just but like
I loved as a kid. I loved 2, and then just rewatch, and then you go and you rewatch. I'm like, the fuck was I thinking?
What the fuck was I watching?
It's like rewatching like Alien Resurrection. Like I was like, yo, Ripley is a clone, and you're watching like, this movie's trash. What the hell was I thinking?
When she fell and the alien popped out of her chest and she just died, I was like, stop this shit. But then they made another one. I was like, damn it. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off track. Disney's influence on this movie, the woman-driven story coming of age, that's Disney. The fact that this Native American woman, legit, right? at some point spoke her native language, and then went immediately for the most movie to I would say, standard white American English, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Disney. They're like, we need this thing to be relatable. We need people to, and I felt kind of weird about it because I appreciated it because I knew what they were saying, right? Because I hate the Mel Gibson movie where all of it was subtitled. I'm like, I'm never gonna watch that, even though everybody says
movie.
The one about the
Apocalypto.
Yeah, the Aztecs. The things about the Aztecs.
Yeah,
people love that movie.
You know what though? I love that movie too. Here's the deal though. Is I noticed like watching some of the stuff on like Netflix, for example, stuff that's in action. Like, what was that movie we saw? I think it was that Chinese. Was it a Chinese or Korean film about the zombies?
The Kingdom. That was
Kingdom. Yeah. So I think you saw it dubbed.
Yeah.
I saw it subtitled. One of the drawbacks I had watching it subtitles was like they will be talking in the mid part of the action film, and then so even though like yes you're seeing the action, but then like your eyes are also diverting down to the thing, so you can't take in a lot of the action. So I was okay with what they did. Like obviously you know what they're doing, and yeah I guess I can see how you say like that's a Disney-esque thing to do. But I think it also kind of makes sense if you're talking about an action film, period. You know what I mean?
Again, I'm not faulting them for it. I'm saying
because you know they have a different version. So I don't know if you know this, but there's a you can watch it and you can watch it in their language.
Really?
And they came in to voice that. So Amber dubbed it. She dubbed it in her own voice.
Oh, really?
So you can watch the whole thing. Now the Frenchman's still speaking French. You know what I mean? Clearly. You know what I mean? And I did like that. I love the fact that when they were speaking French, it ain't translate. Like even because when I had subtitles on, it wasn't translating. I thought it was dope because you're kind of seeing the lens of Naru, and she don't know what the hell they're saying. You know what I mean? She knows like the gist of it. So in a way, you're just kind of sat there like not understanding.
Yeah,
just like her. So there was I don't know. I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you speak French, you obviously know what they're saying. But I like how we were watching it through her eyes. If that makes any sense.
No, it does. And also, again, I would submit after watching Miss Marvel, I would say that's also a Disneyism now to be like the real threat to the Native American is the European white man, which is coming in to take that's historically accurate. I know they're going for it, but like when I looked at Miss Marvel and I felt that most of the story was the British like colonization of India and how that impacted their people. I'm like, yeah. I felt that same like this, the real threat to not only the Predator, but also to the Native Americans is the French. And then at one point when they were both like fighting the same enemy in their own way, they're both healing themselves. And like, I was like, okay, I see where they're going with this, to be like, she's no different than him. Like they're on the same wavelength, but then he goes too far and kills her brother. And now they have to fight. Right. So I did like that. I'm not taking that away from it. I thought that was kind of cool. And I liked from a Predator perspective. One thing also, I think we all go through this when you see horror movies where like the evil villain, you don't see it till the end. And that works for the first one because you have no idea what you're dealing with. But once you start making 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you know what you're dealing with, it's like there's nothing to surprise you unless they do some outrageous shit like Predator dogs or some stupid shit. Like it's like there's nothing to surprise you. So like once you know what the Predator is, you know what their motivation is, right? They have to come up with new ways for you to be like, oh my God. But what I liked about this one was that the hunting elevated. He started off with small animals. And then he worked his way up to the big prey of people.
Yeah. Well, Predator, see, the thing is, like, he was looking for competition. He was looking at competition, and this is why I'm assuming this was his first time on Earth, because he's observing everything and he sees this ant, crawling on him, and all of a sudden he sees the rat eat the ant, and then he's like, okay, so I guess that's a threat. And then actually, the rattlesnakes eats the rat, because let's be real, the rat is the predator, and then the rattlesnake is, and then so if you notice, like every kill he makes, it's like he one ups it. He's like, yeah, this rattlesnake, like, I guess he's the biggest threat. And then until he encounters a freaking wolf. You know what I mean? And the wolf kind of gets him a little bit. And he's like, oh shit. And he's like, and he was able to just like kind of do that little slash thing with the delayed stomach thing. And then he encounters a freaking bear, which I thought was freaking awesome. That bear scene was awesome. I would say this. The one, if I had any gripes probably with this movie, there's probably some of the CGI.
Yeah, that bear looked fake as fuck.
Yeah, for the animals, like, yeah, some of the CGI was not great necessarily, but like the lion, you know, attacking, I was like, you know what I mean? But overall,
don't you remember what they did for Lion King? That shit was legit. That was like 100 legit. Like,
bro, I refused to see that movie.
Yo, it was so realistic. It will fuck your head up to realize that none of it was real. None of it. You're like, oh. Yeah. They have the technology. My point is they have the technology, and Disney said, fuck it, this ain't one of our direct movies, so y'all work that out.
You know, I was really shocked that, I mean, why? Do you think, this is one thing that I was going to ask you, do you think they should show this in theaters? I think this is a theater, they should have released this in theaters. I think this would have done well in theaters.
I say that if it was pre-COVID, in the right time frame, they could do it. But now, no one. The core audience that grew up with the Predator universe would not have gone to the theater to see this movie at all. Most of would not have gone.
Wait a minute. Okay, then we just have like, then we just have a slew of movies that came out the last few weeks and started breaking records for like movies of the year. It's like, you know, come on, really.
The core Predator audience, when they see what
you don't even need but you know what's so great about this is you didn't even need the core Predator audience for this. It was just a good movie overall.
But again,
so this is why I'm saying like this would have been a perfect film to release in theaters where like maybe you watched it and maybe your girl hasn't watched the original Predator. Both of y'all still love it because you will love it because of some of the throwbacks or whatever, and then she'll love it because it's just overall a great story about survival and being you turning into a predator yourself. You know what I mean?
So it's advertisement. Every movie is how they advertise. To your point, like, right, if they were like, we need to have a set of commercials that focus on the coming of age story, which it certainly is more than the Predator story, right? If they had the right commercials for that, and they had do you remember Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Predator's Back? They could have brought those two audiences together, but I'm saying like it depends on how they advertised it, and I think they were leaning more towards Predator is Back. And I'm like, but once they saw that it's a Native American woman, a lot of people would have been like, I'll wait for this to come on TV. I would have said that because I was done with Predator. Period. I didn't see the last one because the last one was shit. So I was like,
I 2018. Yeah, but the trailer. I would say this. I only saw just a teaser version of this because that's the thing. Like now I'm on this whole kick of like not watching. Like I'll watch like a teaser version of something if it's like months out. If it gets closer or whatnot, I'm gonna watch it. Like obviously I saw this last trailer of Black Panther, but if we get a brand new trailer coming right before November, I ain't gonna be watching it. You know what I mean? Even though that last teaser wasn't really a teaser, it's like it showed you a lot.
That's because they ain't got that much time.
Yeah. She-Hulk like comes out next week and they're still showing brand new promo stuff. I'm like, stop, y'all about to be released next week. Stop it. You know what I mean? But no, this one, I think this would have been dope. I mean, again, like you brought up Apocalypto. Apocalypto did amazing in theaters. You know what I mean? Like there's always there's movies with indigenous people that always have done wonders and whatnot. And that's the thing. I would say now we're in post-COVID, whereas like what was the last movie I saw in theaters? Like Everything Everywhere All at Once. When I saw that one, that place was packed, right? And that wasn't even a Marvel film. That theater was packed. So you can't tell me people are still like, well, COVID, like anymore. You know what I mean? If this is 2021, maybe. And then it kind of looks bad because, you know, like I mean, they already like we kind of talked off camera about the whole situation with Batgirl, and then Black Widow was just kind of.
I'm about to say, what you talking about Black Widow?
Yeah, Black Widow. So you have all these strong female leads, and then you got this one who's amazing, and then you just like, yeah, we're just gonna put her on TV too.
Hey, they're both Disney. They're both Disney. That's what she said. Disney says, fuck the strong woman. They said, fuck Black Widow.
yo, I'm gonna tell you this, yo, this is how they're gonna do when Marvels come out. They're gonna be like, come on, COVID, please have another surge. Please have another surge. Come on, monkeypox.
Shit. They're like, hey guys,
we're gonna have to release it. Damn it, there's 3 strong leads. No.
Damn it, we gotta put this in theater. Fuck. Like, you know, No, for real, like, but shit. No, so I feel unfortunately, right? Again, how you advertise the movie, what's your audience, right? Like my friend was like, "Oh, it's Prey. It's gonna be new. Let's go do this." And like my friend Carl, like he was excited to watch it, and then like I guess once it got to the end, he was like, "It was a movie." I was like, "Yes, it was." I mean,
He didn't like Prey.
I mean, I don't think it lived up to what he thought it was gonna be. I don't know, but like
He
started off.
wanted he wanted the whole like get to the chopper moments
Get
and
to the
stuff like that.
which,
Get to the chopper.
I was like, how did she get to the chopper? She was a prisoner of war, and then like, why would they even pick her up? And then what exactly was her role? I mean, it's so many things. But anyway, like,
yeah,
I like this took it back to the first Predator, where in theory she used the land and she outthought the Predator as opposed to try to use brute strength, right? Like, and she, you know, she set the trap for it and it basically killed itself and da. So they're trying to go back for that, and I get that. And it was fine. I mean, it didn't make a lot of sense, even within the movie's construct, but it was fine. Like, you knew she wasn't gonna go head to head with this dude. Like, I mean, that wasn't gonna happen. So she worked it out. I don't understand why the Predator looks so much different. Like, they haven't established Predator evolution, or is this another version of the Predator species?
It's a different version. I saw an interview. He's saying for one, they wanted to make they wanted to make this not only make the Predator look a whole lot more threatening looking, but also make it clear that this is a feral. This is a feral Predator, and like of a different, like possibly like a different race. Like for example, if you remember, was it Predator 2? I guess it was the second Predator film. Or maybe, I think second Predator. Yeah, second Predator film. Like, even though his facial makeup was kind of similar to what you saw from the very first Predator, this one, like, he was a different color, and he had like, but this one had like more, like he had like bones coming out, and this was like in the second was a sequel. So I think they're trying to make it where like this one is just like, it's like he's like a Predator, but he's like a different race because you know there's a comic book, right? Comic book of Predator and whatnot. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a comic book. There's a comic book on it, and there's like different types of predators. There's like different types, different. Different. Obviously, you got different tribes, but you got different types of predators, like from the elite predators to the low levels to the feral ones. Like the feral ones being like the ones like we would call like today we call like the indigenous Amazon people. You know what I mean?
I get you.
And this one was like the feral version, which is why, I mean, he had decent technology, especially for 300 years ago. But he's feral. He doesn't really have armor or anything like that. So I think that's why he looks a little bit different. Because you're right. Because that kind of threw me off at first too, until I looked at the interview and I was like, okay. I guess that makes sense. Like, because you don't want another repeat. I don't know.
No. The reason why we're even having this conversation. Yeah. Avon, thank you for joining us. Yeah. Prey was good. I didn't, as I posted on the channel, I was like, again, coming of age film that happened to have a Predator in it. Like that's because once I figured that out, I was like, I'm good. It was real good prequel. Yeah, I mean, it was, again, I guess that's how we're supposed to look at it, but it could be its own like reboot, because they don't have, but I mean, with the gun, I guess they only try to connect it to the original movies. But anyway, my point is, after over a decade of Predator movies, right? We still really don't know what the fuck these things are. Like, we don't know their language. We don't know why they do these things. Why do they keep on coming to a planet, dropping one of them off, and then waiting for them to die? Like, I'm like, when you think of us hunting, we have hunting season. There's a frame, right? Like, we go from a week, maybe a weekend, and then we're done. And then we come back to hunt next year, right? Like, our goal is to live and to come back, right? So they don't
always lose. Like, so like, if you remember the original Predator, the girl even kind of brought up like, oh, we've heard stories of these monsters that came in and just wiped out entire towns, and then they just disappear. So no. So basically, the thing is, we don't know about it because they're all dead. Like, it just kills them, right? You know what I mean? And then so then every once in a while, so they go planet. They just kind of, that's the thing. They're just a warrior group of aliens. You know what I mean? And
to my point,
well,
I guess my point. I guess I was asked for this movie since we're trying to do something different. I'm glad that he didn't blow himself up. One, I'm glad that they tried to do that again. Right.
yeah.
I want a Predator something where no shit he's fighting a person, obviously a foe that they're going hand to hand, whatever. And right before he kills this fucker, who man or woman, he goes beep 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 beep. Whoop, hunting season is over. He's like, fuck, I'll be back next year. That's what my friend said. He gave me the same look. I want something to be like, but I'm like, give me something to go like, I'll be back next year, or I need a backstory to say these are criminals on their planet. Like they are someone who did something so bad that they're like, fuck it, you're exiled to planet so-and-so. You live or you die, but it's up to you.
You created a whole battle. Like what? No,
like I want because
they're not criminals.
But I'm saying, like with the first Predator, the main ship, the mothership, took off. Right. Like it dropped the thing and came back. It didn't land, so there was no way for that thing to get back home unless they come pick it up. I mean, this ain't even ET had his own ship. So I'm like, I need something to be like, that's why you're here. You're here to live until you die. But we're not. And then they come back to get your body if there is a body. But that's why they don't give a fuck. Or give me something where it's like you got 30 days to live. And we'll be back or something. It just seems weird that the idea is that they keep on coming back to hurt the hunt. They lose until they die, and they're like, "Well, fuck it, we'll try."
No, they don't. So okay, so that's not how that works. So the thing is, though, what they do is like they learn, like the elders of the Predators, they learn from even from the ones that are killed, right? Sometimes they'll send like the younglings in, and if they're killed, what they do is they observe them. They observe them from a distance, and they observe like, oh, you see her. Okay, so he did this, right? So, like for example, like I mean, and I saw a theory about the whole like in the original, like in the 80s version, you saw that he now has a shoulder mounted gun, right? You know what I mean? They're saying the theory, and because I was thinking about this too, especially when she had a gun, I was thinking like they observed that she blasted a dude in the back of the head with the gun. They were like, they took notes and were like, how do we become stronger? Like, how do we, you know what I mean? That's really how it is. Like, think of even humans back in the day when we started doing experiments. We weren't experimenting on rats. We were experimenting on other humans. You know what I mean? Like, just think of like all that stuff. So what they're doing is they're just like, okay, how do we make ourselves better? All right, let's do this. And it's like, matter of fact, it's like you'll probably go through all of them or whatnot, but like, it's an honor thing to us. Like, let's just see who's the strongest. And if one of us gets taken down, so be it. You know what I mean? We'll learn from it. You know what I'm saying?
Even that is it makes sense. Like give me that.
Yeah, but they don't. What do you want them to say out? But that's clear. Who does not know that? Who watches the Predator movies not know that that's how the Predator operates? You can figure it out just watching the 80s film just alone.
No, you cannot, because it died. It transmitted. It was by itself. There was no other predators to.
The second film. Well, the second film is clear, right? The second film, when he throws him the gun or whatnot, it was a trophy. Matter of fact, all the other films after that, even the Alien vs. Predator movies, when somebody takes out a predator or takes out an alien, like was it Sanaa Lathan or whatnot? She like the predator marks her face like as if like you're an honorable warrior, types. So you know what I mean? So I don't. Here's the deal. There is a danger of just explicitly just saying it out loud and making it so freaking obvious rather than just let the audience figure it out. I mean, you know what I mean? But it's not even that hard to even figure out.
I acknowledge that part 2 and after that they did a better job of it. You're right, because like I do remember like Danny Glover getting the gun, right? Like you legit, right. And then the other one took off.
Well, the first one I don't think. Yeah. Well, the first one I think the first one was a hit. I don't think they were even trying to. I don't think at that time they were even thinking they were even going to have a sequel. Universe. You see what I'm saying? No, seriously. I think it was just another Commando film. You know what I mean? It was like that. I mean, let's be real. That's how that's where Arnold blew up. Well, no, the first Terminator I guess came before this. You know what I mean? But
before this one? Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because 84, right? Yeah. Is that when Terminator, the first Terminator?
Terminator 1 came out before this movie. I mean, definitely.
Before this one.
And then Conan,
that's right. Yeah,
Conan, I think Conan was his big shit. It was like Conan, Commando, Terminator, and then Predator. I want to say. And then he did Last Action Hero, and he was like, "I'm sorry about that." And then
I actually like Last Action Hero. I know people.
Bruh, that movie did so bad.
I
That
love
movie
that. It's
did
like,
so
I'll be
bad.
back.
Do you?
But, hey, I bet you didn't know I was going to say that.
Say-
Or having Sylvester Stallone as Terminator or whatnot. He's like,
do-
why? You're a great doctor.
Do you remember the advertisement for that movie?
I do not. I need to watch it. It's probably on YouTube, isn't it?
No. You had to be living in the time to see it. What I mean, like back in the day, you know, they would hype up a movie before it came out, right? But like Burger King, for example, Burger King took on advertising Last Action Hero, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it was Last Action Hero. You can get a cup, you can get a toy. Yeah. That movie came out Friday evening. By Saturday, all that shit was gone. Like, they were like, we are sorry. Like, that movie did so bad in the theater that they completely just turned around to be like, we don't know what you're talking about with Last Action Hero. And I was like, damn. But I was like, it was good. I watched it. It is what it is. Like, he had to do True Lies to get back on top. That's what put him back on top. And he was like, I'm the dude again.
That's right. True Lies. Well, Terminator 2. No, Terminator 2 came out before.
Yeah.
And you're right. But yeah.
But anyway,
but no, I mean, I think overall I would say the good thing about even this Predator, like, and I hear you about the whole, like, kind of letting us know more about the Predator stuff. I think the fact that it is still mysterious, I don't know, there is a awesomeness to it being more mysterious than anything. You know what I mean? I like you saw in this film. Another thing that I liked too was that you saw that he didn't look at her as a threat. Like, he held that bear up in there, which is an amazing scene where it's like the blood is trickling down. And I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was actually going to bring that up. C-Mac the Great says he still had one of the cups. I guess one of the Last Action Hero cups. That was legit. That's probably a collector's item by now.
I remember that. I remember that. How much do you think those things are worth now?
I with the right sale, I bet you if it was in mint condition, you could probably get some money for it, because those were the things, man. Like, everybody, like, again, when like McDonald's would pick up a movie, it would be the toy. Like, you can get a Happy Meal with a toy related to a movie, because that's the way they did. That's the way they did advertisement back then. They didn't have social media and all that shit. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you get
woman being the lead, woman not being the threat. When you bring it up like that, it reminded me again of Predator 1 and 2. Predator 1, the woman wasn't a threat. You did not have a weapon, right? In Predator 2, the woman wasn't a threat because she was pregnant. He didn't kill the cop because she was pregnant, right? Like, it became a thing of, like, it's only man, like, only men are dangerous or whatever. But like with this one, it was like she became a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah,
and a formidable enemy. I mean, and
right. And then the thing is, I mean, and as you can see from pretty much all the Predator films, pretty much, like, the only way you got to use more than just brute strength to take down the Predator, because that's the thing. The Predator, I mean, yes, the Predator is very, very strong, but he he always uses more than that. Like he's great with the
claws, like he got the
claws and whatnot, all that other shit. Like, even was it Predators? Like, you saw in Predators when he fought the dude from what's it called? What's that Japanese the Japanese game? You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, but with the samurai swords and whatnot.
That shit was awesome.
That was amazing scene.
That was awesome.
Yeah, but it showed how much respect they had for each other, in a sense. It was like, because he could have usually used a gun, Predator could, but Predator was like, no, like, it was an honorable thing. so and that's what I mean about the like you were saying, like, why don't, like, we know? I'm like, you could see just through the actions of the Predator that the Predator just does not just kill a whole bunch of people like as if he's just like Michael Myers. You know what I mean? He just like he saw the girl or whatever, but he's like, nah, and he's like looking around like, oh, you that's pointing that gun at me, you're going. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, that's how he's looking at the threat. Like, he wasn't even looking at that rabbit that was running away. He was looking at that wolf that was getting that rabbit, that was chasing a rabbit. You know what I mean? And so yeah, all that stuff was good. love the montage you saw her like practicing on the trees because obviously you know that was going to come back. You know what I mean? I really thought when she was in that quicksand, when she was in that mud, I thought we were going to see what we saw with Arnold, where she emerges from like all muddied up. But what I thought was genius about it and so brand new is that instead of just doing the whole like putting mud all over your body to conceal your body temperature, because even Adrian Brody did it in Predators or whatnot. This one was just more of just dealing with like a smashed up flour to kind of to like to lower your body temperature. I was like, oh, that's genius. Even though those flowers work pretty fast, you know, at the end, she was taking in like immediately. I'm like,
and somehow she didn't go to complete like shock because everyone else who took the flowers like they were out. Like they were out.
Oh, she's been taking that for years. She's taking it for years, so her body's used to it. That's like you go into a foreign country and they say don't drink the water. Well, the locals don't drink the water.
Actually, that don't make any sense because they're all locals. They're all local. I mean, like it's like that was the medicine. Like that didn't make, it was cool, but it didn't make any sense. But they basically did the same thing. I thought so with the mud. So to your point of learning, right? The fact that somehow she figured out that, you know, his weapons is laser guided, right? So if I put the laser right here and he comes up and shoots himself, he's dead, right? Then they were like, well, then we can't do that, right? So we got to do that. The weapon can move on its own, like regardless of the sight. And the aliens were able, maybe it's a different species can work without the helmet. Because in the original movie, he took the helmet off and he was like, let's do that. And he could shoot anyway, right? I mean, so he had to adjust, but they were able to see. So, The Last Samurai, the actor you're talking about was in The Last Samurai, according to C-Mac the Great.
Oh yeah. Last Samurai, yeah.
But no, that was like I said, by far. Again, bringing that up, that was the best Predator sequel of the bunch. I mean, I would say with this one included. Like I really liked the multiple versions of Predators. You understood what they were doing and why they were doing it, like how they were making each other hunt. And
like Lawrence Fishburne's explanation about like, you know, it's a blood feud. Yeah, I mean. Some of that kind of made sense what he was saying. Some of it was like,
it's a movie, okay. Chris. But I'm just saying,
but when you say that, you now change the whole like trajectory of the entire series. When you start saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like a blood feud. It's like, no, they're just freaking predators that go from planet to planet to find better competition. Like it is like they're like CrossFitters on steroids, literally. Like it's like they just, you know, they want a bigger competition item. But
no, I'm reading. And Prey was definitely a movie. I wish they'd done more practical effects for the Predator and made a larger scope among the Comanche. The French traders seemed more silly than a real threat. That's Disney right there. I feel they Disney-fied that like all that. But yeah.
Well, because you got to remember though, the French, they were colonizers, but they weren't your stereotypical, hey, I'm here to rape and pillage your people. No, they were trappers. They were trappers and they were pelters. They were pelters and yes, like they captured the ones that was stepping on their land, what they thought that they declared was their land, but they weren't actively going out to just start snatching the Native Americans. No, they were really trying to find this predator that was going for them, and they just happened on going on both Naru and her brother. You know what I mean?
I submit again,
and they used them as bait. So, like, to be honest, that's one reason why they even kidnapped them in the first place. It was using as bait. All their thing was just to get a bunch of buffalo and just take their skin and whatnot, and just for pelts. You know what I mean? So, even though yes, they are a threat, but it like they weren't like your stereotypical like British colonials coming here and just like, hey, you want some smallpox? Like, you know what I mean? Like. You know what I mean?
I submit to you also, that's the Disney effect. They want to go to the full range because they're like, we need this thing to be PG-13. Like we can't be doing that wild shit. Like I was like, so I feel like if 20th Century Fox did it, it would got a lot more serious for the Comanche. They would be like, oh shit.
Wait, this wasn't PG-13. We saw rats eating at a dude's stump. Like something. I was like, tell me this is PG-13.
I'm telling you, it wouldn't have gone. It didn't go legit like the other movies, bro. Because they're going for an audience. They're going for a wide audience for this movie, and that's okay. But old girl would have been in situation of rape. I'm not saying hopefully it wouldn't have happened, but they would have went that direction. All right, and then Predator would have.
I mean, but Predator would have saved her.
That would have been
crazy. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The original Predator, not even Predators, had women in it, and And no, then
that's my other thing. Species wise, every species has a female version of itself. Every species. Like, where is the woman predators? I actually thought they were going to put that in this movie. Actually,
they probably don't hunt. Maybe they don't go out to plant. She's like think of the old school. Like, just think of old school tribes. The women stayed home. It was the men. It's the men. Like, think of like stuff like even African cultures or whatnot. You ain't gonna see no women out there with spears in their hand. They don't do that. I mean, you don't even see Native Americans. That's why Naru was like, she was different. She was so like, that's why it didn't make sense to anyone. They were like, nah, you don't.
Even I understand, but that's why it would have been even more cool if now they introduced a woman predator. Also, I can't hear you now. I can't hear you. Okay, now you're back. You're back now.
Nah, that would be more woke. I don't know.
That's too woke. What? No. I'm at some point, with Disney at the helm, at some point they need to introduce a woman predator. They should have did it by now. Before we got predator dogs, they should have had a predator woman. Like, needed a sense of dread. The trappers were like the bad guys in Beauty and the Beast. Disney. They Disneyfied this shit. I'm just saying, if they're gonna do the whole part 2, a bigger tribe of predators are coming to be like, oh my god, these humans are more than a threat we thought they were gonna be. They need to introduce some real women-looking predators.
Why?
I don't need a predator.
They wouldn't come out to hunt. Like even when you look at the culture of humans. Why?
If one killed her husband,
you want the woman to be like, that's it, and then like. And it's like drop the kids off. I'm like, I'm going out there to see what's going on with my husband.
I want
that's what you wanted.
I want part 2 to this to be the wife of said predator to be like, now I seek vengeance. And she puts on the blades and she's like, I'm gonna fuck this girl up. Then I want them going hand to hand. All right. Yes.
Nah, I'm good without that. I would be rolling my eyes if they do that, because that's like showing a 300 sequel and then all of a sudden like a female is dressed up like in disguise of 300 and you just be like, nah fam.
Now you're doing Lord of the Rings. I didn't say Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Oh yeah. what else? What? Okay, Mulan. And I don't know. It's like, come on, dude.
Disney. Once again, it's gonna happen. I say again, at some point, a Disney influenced predator movie / prey movie will have a woman predator.
You know what's so great about this film is that I didn't hear. I mean, obviously, trolls are going to be trolls, so obviously, people will say whatever. But the legit people who are reviewing this film or whatnot, including myself, because I was like, because nowadays, unfortunately, when you see an action film starring a woman, you start to brace yourself because you're like, okay, are they trying to do? And they didn't do that. Like, I mean, obviously, they had some things about basically saying like, you shouldn't be out here, whatnot. But through the storytelling, it was so elegantly done. It didn't feel like it was trying to
beat you on top of the head
with the stereotypical like female agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it wasn't doing any of that.
I got you.
So I feel like if you do the whole female predator thing, it will now then turn into that. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
Dude, it's biology. Every species has a woman in it.
Can you imagine if one of the men like takes out like a regular man, like Arnold Schwarzenegger takes out the female predator or not? People would be like, why is it that you going to take out an alien, a female alien? Like, no, dude.
Oh, wait. Hey, C-Mac says, why do you always got to do dogs, yo? Like, dogs are always in these movies for no damn reason, and you cannot hurt the dog. Or like, I was like, I saw a meme.
You know what?
Dog had no acting experience whatsoever.
And you know what's so interesting? Because again, like I said, like these guys learn from like what happens to even people who are fallen and whatnot. You know how you said the predator dogs. Maybe they saw the dog and this, and they saw how her. No, I mean, I know you're laughing, but the way that Naru and her dog were like interacting with each other, maybe like, we can domesticate our dogs and just kind of bring them out.
Wait. Let's see if I understand this. So part 2, you would take a predator dog before you take a woman predator? If they legit brought out predator dogs to hunt.
No, I'm not saying bring it out. No, I'm just saying the reason. I'm just saying like maybe the reason why they had the predator dog. I mean, I personally think they just have just regular predator and that's it. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is maybe the backstory of what you saw the predator dogs and predators was probably because of that dog that you saw in this film, maybe.
Or the writers are shit. but they were trying to up the ante. They're trying to up the ante. I mean, like, because like again, you already know what a predator is. You kind of know what a predator does. So how they come up with new shit? Like it's hard to come up with new shit and not look ridiculous and not get into the ridiculous level. That's what I'm saying.
Do you think they should do a sequel to this?
Yes, because and they did a good job of again of kind of like posing that, especially also with the lady saying, hey, the real threat is the French. Like white people are coming. So like that could be a whole thing. Like they could kind of explore that. I don't know the end game though. I mean, eventually, white people win. So, I'm not sure how far they can go with that. And then unless we're going to truly do a Predator and Native American together fighting the French or some silly shit. Where do they go? It's the question. Part 2, where do you go? That's
I personally think they should just go to another, like different time periods, different places. You know what I mean? I feel like you can easily do it like that. You know what I mean? Like not, this one obviously took place in the US. Maybe you have a different point in time, maybe like
China.
Maybe, yeah, like I don't know, during
when the Japanese invaded South Korea. Like Kingdom?
Yeah.
Legit. Like put a Predator in the middle of it. Oh, heat. They did not do the heat thing again. Where like they're attracted to the, the heat or whatever. So they didn't do that, which I don't really matter, but I'm saying, but just to be consistent.
No, they did do the heat. What do you mean the wet way heat thing?
It's so hot. Yeah. Like this is the hottest time or whatever. I don't remember them saying how hot it was. I mean, remember like in part 1, part 2 was the heat. They're attracted to the heat and the violence, and then they try to continue that shit in the other movies. But I don't remember them making that a big deal right now. But anyway, to your point, if they do Predators per continent in different time periods, I think would be awesome. They've done Latin America, they've done LA, they've done America again. If they do, they
did their own planet. They did their own planet, Predators. You know what I mean? That was their planet. That wasn't their planet.
No,
that wasn't on ours.
It wasn't. It was to your point. It was an alien planet, but it wasn't their planet. They
just a game reserve spot or something.
Yeah. They brought their prey to a neutral planet and hunted them there. That's why it was only 3 of them. There was only 3 or 4 of them there.
It would be great, especially like maybe we see the Predator take on like Genghis Khan.
Yeah,
and like can you imagine like Genghis Khan like throwing out big old axe like at the Predator? You know what I mean?
He's like, hey.
Alexander the Great. Maybe we have him like fight like Alexander. Like, just thinking of possibility you can.
That's
have.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like, yeah. I think.
And to your point of learning, right? If they do it well, is that when they come back to Egypt, they learn from the Native Americans. When they go to Japan or South Korea, they learn from the other two. Like if they can tie it together to where these things are getting better and stronger as they get to it, they could, in theory, get us back to 86 in theory. If they can do it.
Yeah.
And be like,
yeah. No, you're right. So I'm okay with this just being, there's no necessarily like direct sequel to this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we said, like obviously you got that Easter egg with the gun, which basically means it don't turn out very well for Naru and the Comanche, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's history though, right?
Yeah, the fact because you're like, oh, that's where the gun is, like, oh no, this is gonna have a really bad ending that we'll see. In the words of Kim, off screen.
Yo, when they go to Egypt, they want to pull out the gun. They'll be like, remember the last time we were on Earth?
I love how the weapons were like, even though it was more like, I love the weapons fit what they probably would have had 300 years before, but it was still more advanced than what both the natives and the French could deal with. You know what I mean? I love that. I love like he had the little shield, the whole Captain America, the whole Wakandan Captain American shield on his hands and whatnot.
All right.
You didn't like that?
No. I like the fact that you put that together. Once again, I say Disney. Like they're like, hey, we know how to do this. Like,
yeah,
you said it. I'm just saying.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, when he took that bit, like when he got his foot out that trap and he saw the dude shooting at him, he just threw that. He took that bear trap, he just threw it at his head. I was like, oh shit. I was like, he, man, that fight scene was legit.
It was
And,
legit.
yeah.
It was legit.
And those niggas were putting hands on the dude too. Then one dude was like put down a spear into him. I was like, oh, this dude. I was like, oh shit. Predator might be in trouble. And I realized, nah, more bloodshed is gonna have to be made before that happens.
He's like, oh shit.
But you notice in a lot of the Predator movies, they always have Predator losing like an arm. I noticed that. I noticed they in this one he lost his arm and whatnot and all the shit. Yeah. So I don't know. Oh, all the shit. No. That ship itself. That was like 6 years ago, dude. You can't tell me. I hope they're not still doing this. I hope you think that
they're like, hey,
no,
we know how to make a winning franchise. You lose an arm, you got a woman lead.
That was several phases ago.
We got the blueprint. We just got to follow the blueprint. There's nothing you can say that you can't tie to a Disney movie. Like, why is the rum always gone? He's going to fight pirates, damn it. It's going to be a Predator versus Johnny Depp for some reason. Fuck it. He's going to be on a ship. That's what they haven't done.
Oh, fight pirates. No joke. The next one, Disney, if you guys steal this, that's fine. Pirates. I mean, not pirates. I'm sorry. The Predator fighting Vikings, or like a version of the Vikings.
Yes.
Can you imagine that shit?
Yes.
Holy shit. And then maybe you got the skinny old Viking who's like, I never get picked to go on any plows or I can't rape and put, and loot any of these towns and whatnot. Oh man. Or maybe there's a girl he likes. It's like, no, I want to save that woman. And then Predator comes in and he like, you know what I mean?
Wait.
And he's like, Huh?
No, go. Sorry.
Yeah, like I don't know, maybe like his armor, like maybe his face mask got like somewhat like some like horns coming out or whatnot, kind of have some like Loki-esque shit coming out. Disney, you know what I mean?
It's the blueprint. It's the blueprint.
Yeah. That's what they should do. They should do with Vikings. They should have Predator encounter the Vikings.
Wait.
Yeah.
Predator fights the Vikings, which somehow comes to establishes the ethos for Thor. Like they think that they're gods. So they have a hammer. He comes with the hammer, and they're like, "Oh shit!" This is how they start. They created the god of Thor because he can bring electricity where they think it's lightning.
Yeah, but it's really his technology.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh shit! Oh wow! And then they can't lift it because they're just not as strong as him.
It's not programmed.
So they start creating. So they just create some bullshit. Like,
right?
Oh, we're just not worthy.
We're just not worthy. He leaves the hammer. There you go. He's on a hunting trip. He has a hammer weapon. He leaves the hammer weapon after the battle, and they can't lift it.
They can't lift it. It's too heavy. Damn. Yo, I really hope somebody pays us if they use anything remotely. I know damn well they won't, but
awesome.
It'll be awesome to see. Yeah. But overall, I can't iterate enough. Like the casting in this is great. It does something even more special, especially when you have folks dealing with like a regional group of people and you are actually casting those folks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes it more special. Like how many times have we seen movies where it deals with Native Americans and maybe they get someone that's like from Mexico or something. You know what I mean? And like you know what I mean? Like
they're generally
before, there's plenty of Native American actors out there. Yeah. There's plenty. You know what I mean? You don't always. The problem with Hollywood, we always try to get these elite actors. We always try to get these well-known actors.
Billy in the first movie. He was the token Native American in the first movie.
Do you think it was linked up? You know what? Did you notice Billy was the first one that sensed the predator?
Yeah. But they were going for that, stereotypical. They know the land. He was the hunter. He was the tracker of the group. Like that was just like racism, right? That was stereotype. I don't go racist, but he was a stereotype. He was. But my point is, they should have tied him and to the, like that black thing that he was holding. He kept on playing with. One of them should have had Nora, or his people should have had one of those.
Yeah,
that's a better tie-in than the gun.
That would. You know what the problem? The problem with that though is that, and again. If maybe the director back in '87 probably would have thought that maybe in 30 years,
30 years later.
30 years later, they'll do a prequel. Maybe they would have like a line that he would say, that Billy would say, was like, "Oh, my people talked about this, blah, 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 blah." Like, you know what I mean? But I think so when I rewatch, I was kind of paying attention, and he just says, "Oh, I just have a bad feeling." And he's like, "We're all gonna die out here." And he just walks away, and I'm like, okay. Like, you know what I mean?
To your point, if one of the Comanche would have said that, instead of if it bleeds, it could die, like instead of doing like Arnold's line, if he would have did Billy's line, and even if they had the thing around the neck, even if Nora had the thing right and was rubbing it and like felt like she felt there's something out there, that's all you need. That's all you need. And you
I do not do that line, because if you're that's the thing that always disturbed me about Billy saying that, right? It's like, even though there's a lot, as much as I love Predator, there's some whimsical quotes in there. And the fact that it came out of his mouth, that should have not happened. That should have came out of like that little dorky guy with the glasses who kept trying to make jokes about pussy or whatever, like his girlfriend's pussy. That dude, it should have came out of his mouth, right? He's like, "Hey, you know what, girl's like, hey, can I get like pussy?" Because I'm like, bruh.
What?
Like, I remember rewatching it and I was like, did he really just say some cringe shit like this?
That movie was full of shit. Oh man, I was like, this movie's crazy.
I kind of wish that there was like something like, I don't know, it's like something in this movie where it's like something like chopping people to half or whatever, and then someone gets to say like, "Go over there, go to the chopper." You know what I mean?
There wasn't a chopper.
Go to the chopper. It's like, send him to the chopper.
I was like, make it to the boat. Get to the boat.
But the way they even delivered that line about like, if it bleeds, we can kill it. It was so subtle enough. It didn't feel like it was like, I'm like the sequel to Predator 2. Like when you had Predator 2 with Danny Glover saying, "You one ugly mother," like repeating what Arnold said or what. Yeah. It didn't sound authentic. This one, because then it took me a minute to realize, oh shit, Arnold said that, right? Yeah. But the way that her brother said it in here, it still sounded authentic without being like a rehash. Yeah. Because of the situation they were in, because they were just talking. They were like, "Oh yeah," there's like, "Oh, that's the thing." Like, it bleeds. Like, well, if it bleeds, we can kill it. It was so natural. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, any other line from the original Predator, from even maybe the pussy, like maybe the Frenchman, and one of the Frenchmen could say something to have a joke about their woman's genitalia. No, man, and who knows? Because the stuff wasn't translated. Maybe they actually said it. Anyone who speaks French, tell us in the comments if there was more quotes. Maybe there was more quotes, and we just don't know.
We just don't know. Oh shit, that would be hilarious. Hey. With Viola Davis is also inappropriate casting, but Viola Davis doing that African warrior queen.
Oh, the Woman King or whatever.
Yeah,
the Woman King.
That's not okay, but
are we seeing that one? Are we going to? Are we?
Yeah. But I will be like, this is inappropriate when it comes to the casting. Anyway, my point is, if Predator takes his ass to Kenya, hilarious. Like that, that kind of shit. International. It needs to go international. If it's not going to go interplanetary, it needs to go international. But I would say so. If he fights the warrior queen women with his girlfriend, or his boyfriend.
You know what? I want to see Predators fight against like maybe the Spartans or something.
All right, man.
But that'd be more. Nah, never mind. So now I'm expecting too much.
now you want 300 meets Predator?
Yeah. Well, think about one of the biggest action films that ever was created was 300, right?
Yeah.
And then
you could take it to Gladiator. We could do this all day. He can go up against Russell Crowe type Gladiator.
Yeah. Maybe to capture the Predator and they just like release him into the pit, and he's the undefeated champion. Like, oh, so they like basically feed him.
But hey. Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, snap. Have him be the Hulk champion. Damn. You're saying it's all connected. I could have sworn I saw a thing of when they were showing that little tower and they showed different faces.
Yeah.
I could have sworn next to Beta Ray Bill, I could have sworn I saw Predator. I saw some dreads. I thought I saw some dreads, some braids.
Predator up there. Not a thing. No, it was Albert. No, it was a good movie. Anyway, I'm just saying they got if they think bigger than America, they got plenty of historical warriors on Earth, to go after.
How sucky you would have thought that it would have been for the Predator if like he came to your Earth, right? And the only thing he got out of it as far as the trophy goes was just that damn rattlesnake. And he was like, and he comes back to the spaceship like, hey, what you got? What you got, Frank? I was like, and it's like, hey, he's like, I battled a dinosaur from this planet of blah, 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 blah. Well, I battled another xenomorph from this. Like, what you got, Frank? I skinned a snake that was eating a rat.
But
I'm just
you're not coming back next year, bro. You're not coming back.
It's like you ain't hunting. Like you ain't hunting. You going with the ladies. Like you going.
That's what we need, Frank. We need the Frank to be like, I got 3 snakes. So like, Frank ain't coming back next year, Bobby. He ate the one. Nope. I told you he wasn't the one.
Nope. Nah. Maybe we'll bring. We'll. I mean, your kid kind of because they last for like they're supposed to be hundreds of years old. It's like we'll get you. We'll get your nephew. I don't know, in 300 years, in the 80s or something.
He can do it.
Throw him out there.
We'll come back. We come back every 30, 40 years. Like it can't be every year, man. There's too many.
One thing they didn't have either. They didn't do the voice thing. Well, not. And I don't know. I wonder if that's the technology. Then maybe their technology didn't have the audio yet. They didn't want to just redo the same. They didn't want to be just a remake, and I respect that. Like I said, he didn't blow himself up. I respect that. They didn't do the whole mud thing again. They didn't do the whole voice thing again. It became repetitive. Like once the first one did it, then sequels feel like they have to keep on doing it. So I like the fact that they're the only thing they made sure they kept consistent was those 3 dots, those 3 red dots, triangle dots. Yep. So
I was like, why haven't they evolved
that whole clicking like?
Yeah. Also no subtitles like Star Wars. You know what the fuck R2 or C3PO R2 is saying. He could be cussing you out, but you don't know that. He probably is.
Yeah, and I don't trust Han translating Chewie. I think Chewie be saying some fucked up shit.
He probably
just lying.
Yeah, he'd be lying. Why the fuck am I working on the ship? Because I said so. Chewie, shut the fuck up and fix the ship. I gotta go. It's like
I think Chewie's low key a racist, bro. He's like, yo, these damn humans. Like, you know what I mean? Like
that's specious, but I see your point. he's like, I will eat you if I could, but Han told me I couldn't. My white master took like what? What was that? Like, you would do what to Leia? That's not okay, bro. That's my girl. That's not okay, man. But we don't know any of these things because they ain't got subtitles. Anyway, guy. Anything else for wrap up?
No. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Nice film overall, but really good action film. We need more films like this. Like I said, I wish it was in theaters. I mean, CGI at times could have been a little bit better, but overall, I would say this is probably one of the best Predator films in the series. I can understand if someone says this is the best of the Predators. I'm okay hearing that. Sometimes I'll like freak my eyes if someone says like a sequel is better or a prequel is better or not. I'll be okay if you say that. So for me, I would say it's a second. It's a close. It is the original Predator, and then this and Predators are like neck and neck with this one edging out Predators, in my opinion. So yeah,
all right.
Because Predators some dumb stuff in Predators. Where I was just like, really, you know what I mean? Like there's some really dumb stuff like the dude who was like on death row and he was showing like a tattoo of his sister, like that's my sister, and I'm like, so there's some really dumb stuff in there. I'm just like,
all right,
there's a lot of unnecessary stuff. You know what I mean?
I see.
I'm like, yeah, and you knew who was going to die from the very beginning of the film. That's the thing too. You know what I mean?
Also, okay. I see. Okay, so now we're putting Predators in the list. I would say, because it's the original, as we said. I'll leave you a Predator, Predators, and then Prey. Those are my top 3 in that order.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with even that list. I was just saying why
I get you.
Why Predators is. That's why I say it's close.
No, because, This had a better story.
Yeah,
this had a better story.
Hard for me to. For me, just the fact that Topher Grace, like you tell me Topher Grace, all his running he didn't get caught once, and you want to say just because he is a serial killer, like he is a doctor who's a serial killer, like the Predators knew that he was just as elite as like the freaking gang members. Like, come on, dude. Like, and I'm thinking like, if the dude's death row and he's like 2 days, like it was just break into like it just.
Look, bro, I liked it. The reason why I say
it was fun though.
It was fun, but at least it didn't happen on Earth. I like the fact that they at least went to another planet, right? Like that was important to me. I like the fact
that opening scene was dope. I thought the opening scene was like, it just starts off like Adrian Brody is falling, like he's like waking up like, like he just out of nowhere. I thought that was a nice little opening
Yeah,
scene.
I was
oh,
like,
shit.
I want to see where this is. Like, I love the fact it was off planet. I love the fact that it was a different story, you know, with the same concept, but it was a different story. You have more people. I think more now talking about it even more. I think it could be the best of the three, but definitely a strong number two. Technology and everything. Different Predators. I don't know. Because you had Predator versus Predator, you had Predator on Predator, you had Predator on human, you had human on human. Like, it had a lot of things going on. But you gotta suspend disbelief for any of these movies. I mean, really, because Predator in real life would have killed all those fuckers and been done with it. Like, there's no way they would have outthought or fought him. But it's a movie, right? So the humans have to win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
I agree.
Yeah.
Or now, like, Sanaa Lathan, that Predator couldn't take out no Sanaa Lathan in the original.
It's like, stop it. I
rewatched that. I was like, even that was another form, but I'm like, ain't no way in hell a Predator, like someone who's an elite warrior, is going to think Sanaa Lathan just because she just happened to be in the right place, one right time, just like blast it. Like, nah, fam.
See,
nah, fam.
Nah.
And then you're gonna give him the head as a weapon,
True.
as like a shield, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Yeah, the war paint. I thought the war paint of the blood of the Predator was dope. I mean, I thought maybe it would be a little distracting with it being neon freaking green, you know, but it worked. I thought it worked. So yeah, keep it up. Hulu and Disney or whoever all Disney did it. So yeah.
Disney owns all of it. So Disney told 20th Century Fox to make it like this, and 20th Century Fox, and they both decided to put it on Hulu, and Disney owns Hulu. So it was all basically Disney in the back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Disney Plus. It wasn't Disney Plus because it's not their type of movie. So they put it out on Hulu. Because they're using Hulu a lot now. Like, Hulu is like their version of like HBO Max and like the edgy stuff that they can't put on Disney Plus, but they want it to be good. Like all the FX shit, like they're pushing it through the Fox stuff.
Right. I feel like this one should have been more of a wider audience than just FX people. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't have Hulu, so it's like a lot. It's like so there's a huge group of people that just won't see it because you just didn't have it in theaters first. You know what I mean? And it's not like you can just rent it on Amazon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like eventually you'll be able to rent this, but like it's already on TV, but it's only on TV for folks who have a Hulu account. You know what I mean?
I get you.
And I don't know, but yo, shout out to Amber, Amber, for with her performance. I think she's going to, you know, I know she's been in other stuff, I guess, before, but I think she's going to have a huge career. She was really good in it. I would say, as far as she had the best acting in any of the Predator films. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of stuff you could just read just off of her face and stuff, and everything just seems so natural. Even when she was about to die in that quicksand and stuff like that, all kinds of stuff. It was just, everything was just dope. So, you know, applause to you guys. Applause. Fox finally did something right now that Disney owns it.
Exactly. Like once Disney gets it, everything's all right. At least they try. All right, guys. Thank you everyone for stopping by. We appreciate you. Chris is out for the rest of the day. We will see him tomorrow. We have a big day tomorrow. We have the Shy. We're saying goodbye to P Valley. We are saying hello to Power Book 3 because Book 3 starts tomorrow. And we might be doing day shift with Jamie Foxx. That bullshit. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. That's a maybe. That's a maybe. The other two. Yeses. But Stacy and Kim and I are going to do All the Queen's Men this afternoon, and we're going to do Send Help on All Black. We're going to start those two shows. So that'll be us. So you'll see us again. Chris, have a great day. See you tomorrow.